podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
First half, I thought we played really, really well. Second half, you need to find a way to influence and impact the game and try and get the points, and we're capable of doing that as well. So, yeah, really pleased for the lads. Unbelievable effort over the last 4 games. You know, if you look at the 4 games on paper, and then you see you take 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 clean sheets, playing against teams like have come down for the Premier League as well, been really, really stretched. Even today, you know, Derek's in limited minutes. Guys are tiring towards the end of the match, having to change it up and try and freshen it up a little bit. Yeah, delighted with the squad. Delighted.
It's testament to the bond that we have in the dressing room. You know, it's always been like that. It's been like that for as long as I've been here, and it's as strong as ever. And that goes a long way, particularly in games like today when, you know, fair play to Swansea. They've been on a good run recently, and they played some good stuff at times, but we managed to come through.
This is the best dressing room I've ever been in. That's for sure. The laugh that we every training, like it's joy to come to training ground. Not like it's not your job. It's like fun to come to training ground.
Hello, dear listeners. Well, those voices were the familiar tones of manager, head coach Alex Neil, followed by our own Billy Mitchell, and finally there Mihailo Ivanovic, each of whom describing the impact of yesterday's magnificent 2-1 home win over Swansea City. A decent Swansea side, I thought, especially in that second half, after they clung on for grim death at the end of the first. Some heroics from their goalkeeper, Lawrence Vigouroux. I've been reading about him. He's been, around the houses, but he's certainly coming good at the age of 33. Chilean goalkeeper, apparently, but he performed absolute miracles to keep Millwall at bay yesterday. But yeah, you can detect from each of the 3 voices there, from the manager through to the 2 players, there's a real sense of pride in this current Millwall squad, and that is really, really inspirational to me. I mean, as a Millwall fan of many years standing now, the one thing you really want from your Millwall side, we all know that, you know, we're the club that we are. Quality is not always at the top of our agenda, but you do want to see this spirit that we're seeing from this side to go behind, to claw their way back from the body blow of that equaliser. I thought we'd done really well to get ahead after a very good, strong first half, chance upon chance, finally nudging ahead via Mihailo. But then to concede so early in the second half and still find it, as Alex Neil has said there, late in the game, tired, a huge workload over the Christmas period, and to still find something to get 3 points out of, what was otherwise going to be probably a disappointing draw, in truth. I think it's just magnificent. I really take my hat off to the players. I was at Southampton. I've been to the home games across the Christmas period. The only one I haven't been to was the Blackburn debacle just before the holidays. But I've really got to say I've been massively impressed by the spirit of this side. And we have players coming back. Alex Neil mentions there Derek coming back into the side yesterday, and you know, bit by bit, return of Ryan Leonard, return of Billy Mitchell, return of Femi Aziz from suspension and injury before that. It's starting to feel a little bit like there's something on this season. Am I alone, listeners? Are you permitting yourself to start to think about the P word, playoffs or even promotion? Whisper that one. It certainly feels like it's an increasing possibility. To be in 5th place at this stage of the season has not happened for a long time. The last one I can think of, as I said to Merv in the other reaction show after yesterday's win, the last time I can think of it probably being near or thereabouts this kind of situation would be back in the McGee era of 2001-2, when we finally got ourselves to the championship. I don't know if it was called the championship back then. It was the second tier playoffs, which it would always go bent on us against Birmingham, of course. But that's the last time I can think we've got anywhere close to this situation. And some of the football we've been playing, some of the style in that first half, some of the moves, some of the talent on display, it's got wow factor, listeners. We went off the boil, but then I'm going to put that down to tiredness. And a decent Swansea side. I don't mind Swansea. They played some good stuff in the second half. They were passing without being poncy, and I thought we rode our luck at times. I mean, Crocombe had to make a couple of decent saves on occasions in the end of the first half and a couple of moments in the second when they got close. We did a great job of, largely speaking, keeping them at bay, although we weren't playing well for a large chunk of the second half. So to prevail in those circumstances is, for me, is a tribute to a very, very strong squad with a good mentality. Billy Mitchell alluded to that, and also Mihailo there saying it's a joy to come into to train. I mean, that's, you know, I know that English is not his first language. That's a big word to choose, I think, and it tells you a lot about this current side. Now then, dear listeners, this is the voicemail show. Normally, I love to react to the voicemails. I don't really have enough time. I've got a bit of a schedule tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to do much other than string the voicemails together. I want to say I appreciate every single person that sends me voice notes. I really love these shows. I think it's great to get the wide range of Millwall opinions, and if you are interested in joining the gang, the posse, the podcast posse, do message me either via X at Achtung Millwall, or you can email me at achdungmillwall@gmail.com. achdungmillwall@gmail.com. That's all lowercase. And we can exchange phone numbers, and then you just WhatsApp me your messages after the game. I really appreciate them. I think they make great listening. I get a lot of favourable comments coming in via the the reactions on the shows or emails or on X, and I know a lot of people are really interested to hear the views and opinions of our fans, and this is, for me, is a great way to achieve it. So do give me a shout if you're interested in making a contribution. Normally I say post-match 2 or 3 minutes worth if you can. Some go on a bit longer. I reserve the right to edit any. You can imagine some of the stuff I get sometimes. So yeah, I've always got to keep that up my sleeve. It is my name on the podcast in the end, so I've got to keep that. I reserve that right, dear listeners. I hope you understand and forgive me. But no, do give me a shout if you're interested in joining the podcast reaction gang. So there we are. We're going to run straight into the voicemails now. I want to say a big thank you to everyone, and thank you to you too, dear listeners, for listening. I'm going to take a short podcasting break, probably over the Cup weekend, and I'll be back more properly after the Watford game, which is on the 17th, I believe, isn't it? So until the next edition of Achtung Mill from me, Nick Hart, I'm going to take a breather after that Christmas intense period. I'm going to say bye for now.
Nick, Aussie Dave here after that 2-1 win against Swansea. Joy of joy. What a critical win, particularly with Coventry or Watford away, our next 2 games. We really need that to steady the ship. And a bit like the Bristol game, we were great in the first half, then on the back foot, and then got a goal. I'm going to talk about that, my observations. Let's get on to the observations. I've got 4 to make. The first one, it was all 4 games over the Christmas period, we've had a very even team performance. 8-9 players playing well, maybe none, 1 or 2 passengers for some parts of the game. But overall, we are getting very few weak links now as we get a full team back. Man of the match for Swansea, would have given it for Taylor, but he was seriously at fault for their goal, didn't track their centre-half for the equalising goal by Swansea. And I'm going to give it to Billy. What a difference he makes, and he's not passing back Billy anymore. He's looking forward, Billy, so well done. Second point, want to comment on the way we begin second halves. The Bristol and Swansea game and other games at home this season, we seem to do a good first half. In the second half, we seem to be a bit sluggish and often in the back foot. So I don't know what type of rocket Alex Neil puts up the players' backsides, but it needs to be a bigger one. We need to really be wound up as we come out. The third of 4 points, substitutes make a difference. I said that after the Bristol game when Ballo and Langstaff came on and swung the tide. And against Swansea, I thought Doughty, only done for 10 minutes, made a big difference with his long throws, corner, and eventually his assist for the goal. And as we get more first-team players back, our subs bench is going to be pretty strong and will make important differences to the game. Final point, seeing the players coming back now, like Derek and Billy and the like, it made me think about a transfer business. And I wonder whether we're realising we've got a strong squad. We still get injuries, but maybe we're not as frantic to get players. I do think we need a striker. I heard Coburn's training again, but we get him, Ivanovic and Langstaff. They're going to get injured or go off form. So I think we need a striker, maybe a seasoned one, who's happy to come off and on again. So midfield, I don't think we need any. With Billy, Negley, Doughty and Derek already back, and Denor, Cundall, Smallburn waiting in the wings. Maybe an old-timer to take over Leongo's position to, shore up certain games. We really miss a chicken not getting Morsey, who went to Bristol. A winger, I think we need one wing player. Aziz and Ballo are good, but if they get injured, maybe Negley. But after that, I'm not keen on Imaku, and we will get injuries or tired legs. We probably need another winger. And maybe a goalie, though I'm generally happy with Crocombe. But so, with this good play the last 4 games and a good performance against Swansea, makes you question how frantic we're going to be in the transfer market and whether we will get anybody. I don't know. Anyway, 2 weeks rest for the players and the supporters, and then back on for the Watford game. Come on, you Lions!
Just a little interjection from myself, my good self, on behalf of Rob Woodford, who is actually en route to the USA on his holidays. So a big shout out to Rob, one of our regular contributors. He's messaging me saying no contribution from me, Nick. As I run out of time, I'm heading off to the strange land of the Donald this morning. But he did say, what a way to clinch another 3 points. We're getting really good at late dramas. Hanging on in there with a negative goal difference. That is quite something, Rob. Well, it's been done before. Huddersfield, apparently, in 2016-17, they finished 5th with a goal difference of -2. I didn't know that. Did you know that, listeners? Not recommending it as a course of action. Rob continues, they got through both playoff ties with a penalty shootout win. Edge of the seat stuff, he's just saying. You might want to drop that one into your next podcast. I'm dropping it in now. So big shout out to Rob. Enjoy the US, mate. And look forward to hearing from you very, very soon.
Good morning, Achtung, Millwall in the car on the Sunday morning, -3 in the car. Not as freezing as some places, but very crispy and icy and cold. Anyway, I just wanted to say, Nick, good luck today and all the boys. Obviously, I've got to do, I've missed, this would have been my 4th game that I missed in the whole year out of the whole 46-game season, home games. Missed the 4th one, got to work, but let's give it a good push, because where Millwall are now, and our beautiful, lovely Millwall, where we are now, sitting 7th with an injury-hit team, second half of the season, let's push it today, get the 3 points that we need to push on to the playoffs. 4 points off second. Come on, it's an amazing season so far in my eyes. Alex Neil's got no hair. I don't care. But listen, so Achtung, we'll try to quickly give you a little preview. I think today, the Swans must win. I just want to say, Alex Neil, if you're listening, and Achtung Millwall, and all the old podcasts, Mickey, everyone, Chat with Chaps, Lions TV, please, Alex Neil, today, give it your all. Strongest team, start Macaulay, Mihailo, I don't know if he's going, he'll stay in, or if a bid comes in for Valencia, take it. We need to buy now. The window's open, shop in. But please, Alex Neil, if you're listening, please, next Saturday, a week yesterday, Burnley in the Cup. We all don't care. Please play the under-21s. Play the players who are on the bench now who can't get a game for next Saturday, Burnley away, Turf Moor, Lancashire. I don't care about the FA Cup. Beat Tottenham, being that Tottenham 6-0, being Cardiff. We had our runs 2004. Contract on the league, Alex Neil. Today's a must-win. Bye for now, Bobby T. Have a good game, my Lions. Bye for now, Bobby T. Love you all.
Nick, it's Hassan here. What a fucking result that was, mate. What a result. I had to watch it from afar, I'm afraid. I couldn't make it today. And I was following it on... I was at a party, to be honest with you, and was really interested in being there. So I was following everything as much as I could on X. And from what the Twitter feed was saying from the club and from what fans were saying on X, that we dominated Swansea in the first half, deservedly went a goal ahead and could have been more typical Millwall to go in, shoot ourselves in the foot almost immediately in the second half for 1-1. But for Taylor to come up at the end with a late winner, Monday's result against Bristol City was big. This could be maybe even bigger. The fact that just everything culminated today, innit? Like this run of games. I think it was the 4th game in just over a week. It's a crazy amount of football, and we've gone through it unbeaten, conceding 2 goals, winning 2, drawing 2. Amazing return. I honestly thought we would struggle. I really did. After the Blackburn game, I thought, you know what? Come the end of the year, we're going to be in the bottom half of the table. I really did think that. But the fact that we've gone through this tricky period in the top 6 is testament to the players, to Alex Neil. Everyone has stepped up. All those on the fringe who've come in, I take my hat off to them. When it was 1-1 and it looked like it was going to finish 1-1, I was getting ready to leave a voice note saying things such as, there's levels to this game and we're not at that level. I look at Middlesbrough today, they beat Southampton 4-0. We played them the other day and couldn't score against them. I know it was a good draw, but it just goes to show that Middlesbrough, who are only a couple of places above us, they shipped 4 past Southampton. I know it was at their home ground, but the fact, like, goal difference again, and looking at what everyone was saying about that first half, today may have been a chance for us to address the goal difference and score maybe 4 or 5 goals against a poor team. But by the sounds of it, their goalkeeper decided to turn into Peter Schmeichel for the day. So we'll take the 3 points and we move on. I haven't seen any of the goals. I haven't seen much in the way of highlights, but talking to a few people who've been at the game, Corey Langstaff again sounds like he's had a barnstorming game, and honestly, I wouldn't get rid of him this month. He's gone from someone who was going to go out on loan, and unless we get someone in who's better than Langstaff, then fine, you can ship him on. But at this moment, I wouldn't do it. He's been a match winner a couple of times. He's becoming an integral part to the side. We're slowly reverting back to 4-4-2, which is improving Mihail's game by the sounds of it. Sounds like Doughty, another top performance, another assist to his name. Taylor, again, he was a match saver for us on New Year's Day against Southampton. He was a match winner today. He's going from strength to strength. It was good to see Mazu Saku back in the side, and he made an appearance as well. So I'm hoping now slowly things are going to start coming back together again. And maybe we can get a few additions through the door before the Watford game. Next week against Burnley, for me, I love the FA Cup, but for what we've potentially got for us this season, and if we're the fully fit squad, no injuries or very little injuries, 100%, I would want us to go to Burnley and win. But the mere fact that we're slowly getting players back and we're still missing a large chunk of players, next week it's a free hit, play the fringe players, play under 21s, give them their first appearance, and just get out of that, and then move on to the next game. But overall, hats off to the players, hats off to Alex Neil. Honestly, he's working wonders, and it just goes to show I think Alex Neil, he sets us up to win every game, and one is it is entertaining, it's better to watch as a fan, and 2, you get great moments. He's been in the job just over a year, and he's created so much more magical moments than what Gary Rowett did in his whole tenure at Millwall. It's because he's a winner. He wants to win games of football, not just, nick a draw here and there. And he's always pushing players to. That's why we end up shipping a lot of goals, isn't it? Sometimes we get beat the odd 4-0s and 3-0s. As much as it is annoying, if it's his ethos for us to go and try and win every game, and you win the majority of them, then stick with it. But overall, well done to the boys. Rest up. Just don't do nothing for a few days, please. Let's get some more players back. And, on to the next one. Cheers, Nick.
Achtung, Millwall.
Nick Hart, Arrivederci Millwall, live from the 6th floor in Harrods. What can I say more, mate? Where's the fucking statue? Where do you want the statue, Callum Taylor? Look, first half, Hamley bossed it. Weren't there? Can't say how it was. Billy Mitchell, you're fucking immense. You are one of our own, Billy Mitchell. Smash and grab, don't care. Swans, see you later. Bobby T signing off. Great start to the new year. We're hunting second. Bye for now, Bobby T. Well, whoa.
Morning, Nick. Just Adam Wicks here, just leaving my thoughts after yesterday's dramatic, in the end, 2-1 win over Swansea City. Just a couple of bits from me, really. I thought first half we were obviously clearly excellent for everyone to see, apart from their goalie putting in the performance of his life. I think we could have been, I don't think it would have been unflattering if we were 3-0 up at half time, probably. Carved out numerous chances and just for whatever reason didn't take them. I think we probably should have taken some of them, but the goalie was in inspired form. And then obviously coming into the second half, I mean, obviously great turn and finish from Ivanovic, and good to see him back amongst the goals again. Then coming into the second half, I don't know if anyone else has noticed. I'm sure they have, but we seem to have a real problem with switching off the first 5 minutes after the start of the second half, and just letting goals in. I think we let one in within 5 minutes against Bristol City. Obviously did it again yesterday. We just seem to get caught absolutely cold. I don't know what it is. We're not concentrating. Something's a wee bit amiss there, and we just need to tighten up on that. It just seems to be an ongoing thing. It's noticeable anyway to me, but maybe statistically it's not, but it seems to be the case. And then obviously second half, I mean, Swansea come out a different side. They were really getting into us and didn't give us any time on the ball, and to their credit, to be fair. And they made it quite a difficult game. We obviously worked our way back into things and finished quite strongly with a great cross from Alfie Doughty and a great header at the back post from Caleb Taylor, who is looks like another snip of whatever we paid for him, 2-3 million, was it? I mean, he looks incredibly composed on the ball, likes to carry it out of defence. He's put some great blocks and tackles in. He heads, and he's a real threat at the other end. I think, with so many players getting dragged to Cooper on corners and free kicks, I think, the likes of Kramer and Taylor are going to have a field day with being able to attack the ball against slightly less aerially dominant defenders. I just think, overall, we deserved it on the sheer number of gilt-edged chances created over the game. And great to see Derek coming back in. I thought Billy was fantastic yesterday. Aziz looked lively, and I think Negley's really played himself into some form now, and he put in a couple of great challenges. He's got a lovely left foot. So I just hope this is the start of us getting some players back. Hopefully we can get a few reinforcements in January. I think we're potentially a top class keeper and centre forward to assist up front, away from being a real threat in this division. Maybe another midfielder just to bolster the loss of Luongo for the season. But yeah, other than that, it's very promising, isn't it? So anyway, onwards to Burnley. I'm not really too bothered what happens up there, to be honest. I hope some of the Kamal Grants of this world and people like this get a bit of a chance to have some minutes, and we can see what they do. Anyway, come on, your lines.
Morning, Nick. Jim Hackett here. Just a few comments about yesterday's game against Swansea. I thought, saying that, I watched the whole game apart from the first 4 minutes of the second half. So unfortunately, I missed the Swansea goal, and I wasn't surprised when I came back into the room and they'd made their score, and it was just the way the game was panning out in the first half. I think if we'd have got another goal or possibly two in the first half, I think we'd have we'd have been on to win comfortably. But as it was, we didn't, and they got back in the game. But first half, I thought we were absolutely terrific. I thought the chances we created were better chances than we've created most of the season. And apart from great goalkeeping, we'd have been 2 or 3 up. And I'm sure I'm not the only person to say that that's probably one of the best goalkeeping performances we've seen, from an opposition keeper or any goalkeeper, over the years. And, credit to the lad who was in goal for them. But I think justice was done in the end when we did nick the winner at the end. And, apart from the goalkeeper, I don't think Swansea had too much to damage us. They had a little period in the second half where they did get on the ball more, and they made us look a little bit sort of not lacking confidence, but they certainly moved the ball around better against us and created us problems. But ultimately, our teamwork, our team ethic, and the players themselves, deserve great credit for not just sort of slipping into that mode that we've seen so often at Millwall, where once the opposition do get a goal back, we seem to really get stressed and struggle to stay in the game. But to be fair, yesterday we didn't. We got back into it and got our just rewards. But overall, the game we deserved to win. The first half, we were good, and the chances were so unlucky not to go in. Mikhailo must have had sort of 3 or 4 great opportunities apart from his goal, where we were just inches off. But that goalkeeper, he's like Inspector Gadget with his arms and his legs and everything. He couldn't have had a better day, and unfortunately for him, he couldn't save the one that probably out of all of them that did sort of go towards him. That was the one that went in, and thank God it did, because I think we'd have felt a little bit miffed not to have won that yesterday after the dominance of the first half. But then at least we didn't look like we were going to lose it after Swansea had their 10, 15 minutes of domination. As a team, I think Taylor, whatever has gone on with him when he got left out against Blackburn, and he's come back in, he's showing what a good player he is. And with him and Cooper, it gives us 2 threats, if you like, at the corners, set pieces, whatever. So if Cooper's getting man-marked by 2 or 3 players and dragged all over the shop, Taylor seems to be the one that's getting free, and they're using it quite well. But overall, a good win, a great end to the festive season games, and we're back up to 5th. And if nothing else, we'll keep going, I'm sure, and get some players back. It was nice to see Derek back yesterday. I think that caught a lot of people by surprise. I expected him to be out for the rest of the season or close to it, and yet there he is back in doing his stuff. And now, obviously, Alex Neil will get 1 or 2 back. Not sure what's going to go on with the Burnley game. I think, obviously, he'll have to play half the side against Burnley, but let's hope it's the right half of the side, and the rest of them get that little sort of bit of relief and the ability to change the headspace of being knackered and get some freshness back into them, in their minds and their legs. But overall, I think we're in a great position, somewhere we're not used to being, but every game now seems to be a stressful game for us. And as the team is developing and more players are coming back, I think we've got every chance of pushing forward. If not, then at least we've had a great first half of the season, and the second half promises a lot. So Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody out there. And come on, you Lions.
Hi, Nick. It's Lawrence Binney calling after Mill 2, Swansea City 1. I'm getting really tired of these dramatic last gasp winners. They're not doing much for my mental health or my heart. There was actually a bit of a feeling, or I kind of felt towards the end of the game, that even though the second half certainly wasn't as convincing as the first, that kind of Swansea were tiring and that we would get one more opportunity. And I think such is our luck at the moment. It's just falling for us. That being said, in that first half, probably the most dominant we've been since Stoke at home a few months ago. Really should have put Swansea to bed in that opening period. Combination of some really, really great saves and some kind of, I don't know, sort of less than composed finishing meant that we went into the break with only the 1-goal lead. And then, I think someone else putting out online, in the second half, especially the second and second half, we do tend to kind of switch off a little bit. I think that it's quite difficult to keep that intensity going, that pressing intensity going for a full game. And yeah, we conceded a few goals right after that, right after the kind of the half-time break. And it's something that we probably need to look at a little bit. I think it's been difficult to do much coaching in terms of game management, because I think we've kind of had to just take each game as it comes so far, the injuries we've had. But now that we're getting a settled side together, it's probably worth looking at sort of how we manage the game, especially in games that we're well on top of. Yeah, I thought, especially in that first half, no one below an 8 for me. I thought pretty much to a man we were excellent. Crocombe's kicking is a bit dodgy today, but aside from that, can't really complain too much. Caleb Taylor continues to look very, very good. Kramer and Aziz, electric in that first half. I think Billy Mitchell, again, just showing his class and his quality. Second half was more about the players that didn't tire, I feel. I thought Negley looked quite tired in the second half. Billy looked a little bit leggy, but still managed to kind of put in some really nice passages of play. And Langstaff kind of faded a little bit in the second half. So I'm glad we freshened it up, and we did. Arguably could have done it earlier, but I know that he probably doesn't want Mazu Sakho playing too much, considering he's just come back. But he also looked bright when he came on. Yeah, I mean, I can't really. I have to give all the credit in the world to the players and the coaching staff. I think, and the new fitness regime. I think we've been outstanding in the way that we've managed that period. I think lesser sides would have fallen away, but we've last 4 games, 2 points a game, 8 points. That's fantastic. We now have a bit of a break, get some players back, sign some players, and then a tough run in with January. But yeah, things are looking bright. Right, cheers, Nick. Take care. Bye.
Nick, Matt Richards, driving back from the game. Bloody hell. Oh, I'm tempted to say he's nothing like a 92nd, 93rd minute winner, but I could do without that every single week. I know we all could, but at least we got the win, eh? Because we absolutely deserved that. I know there was a period, second half, obviously start the second half, they came out of blocks, got the equaliser. But I mean, aside from that, after that first half performance, and I think the way we finished the game, I think that was a thoroughly deserved 3 points. Their keeper was just incredible, wasn't he? I mean, not only like saves, but double saves, 2 double saves in the first half. I think from what I see, anyway, Langstaff should have done better with his second one anyway. The first one is kind of, I can see it's difficult for him to twist his body and get a good connection, but yeah, those saves, and to save, was it Femi Aziz's shot as well? We just thought, it just looked like, oh wow, it's going to be one of those halves where we're not going to get a goal. But thankfully, Mahalo, after a ball over from Femi and a couple of flicks on, finished well. Really pleased for him. Get another goal, and then we're all kind of sitting there, we're thinking, well, what's going to happen second half? We need to get an early second goal to kind of calm the nerves, and then they ended up scoring. There was a choke, and I can't remember. I think it might have been Taylor in the back post, but who missed his man. But it was slack defending again. We seemed to be standing off them. They were just up for it second half, and after that there was that 10-minute spell, 15-minute spell, and all over us. And we're thinking, what's going on? But it's, fair play to the team, and this is what my key takeaway, I guess, is this team's got fight. It's got spirit. We've seen that with some of the 0-0 draws recently against some top teams, but we've also seen it against Southampton at home. We saw it against Bristol City at home as well. They don't give up. We might not have the leaders on the pitch like in the old days. There's no Sav, nobody maybe that we've seen before driving us on. But there's something about this team, they just say just don't give up really. Fair play as well, Alex Neil. You know, it was a strange decision. You bring in Doughty on like 85th minute. You think he's taking Femi's off. If anyone's going to nick you a goal, you think, well, it'll be come from Femi, either assist or score, and then Doughty ends up getting the assist. And Caleb Taylor, I mean, he's so dangerous in the box. He was so unlucky with that header he had. Keeper made a blinding save, and then there's another header which got a deflection off of their defender, and how the keeper kept that one out, I don't know. It was like a Banks-esque save. But Taylor's so dangerous in the box. Maybe it's because defenders are so focused on Jake Cooper. Maybe they're not picking up Caleb Taylor, but he gets on the end of stuff, and he's a real danger, and he's playing really well. What a good signing he is. So 3 great points. Really, really useful. Now I think we're back up to 4th or 5th, maybe 5th. But thereabouts. With more players coming back as well. We've got a tough next league game coming up. Watford away, but maybe Casper will be back for that. Coburn, hopefully not long after. Things are looking really positive, Nick, aren't they? So that's really good to see. Brilliant win today. Well deserved. FA Cup next week. I don't really care. But Millwall, let's keep going. Come on, you Lions. Cheers, Nick.
Nick Hart, Bobby T here. Listen, when you get them tonight, put the slippers on, the old Millwall fans. And again, we leave it late again at the death. I want to say one thing though. And Alex Neil again, after this result, next Saturday, rest the whole team. Play the kids. Play the kitchen staff. Play the groundsman. We don't care about Burnley. On to Watford. Bye for now, Bobby T.
So, here we go. Just a second win in 7 matches for Millwall, who climbed to 5th. 3 points for the Lions, but it should have been more comfortable than it was. Millwall totally dominated the first half, and although Ivanovic did score, to be honest, their goalkeeper, Lawrence Vigouroux, produced a lifetime best performance with some incredible saves that had most Millwall fans open-mouthed in stunned disbelief. It was clear that their boss man, Vitor Matos, had delivered a broadside into his team at half-time, probably equivalent to a good old-fashioned football bollocking, as they used to be called, and they tore into us for the second half, first half hour, duly scoring an equaliser 2 minutes into the half. But the Lions are resilient these days, and they slowly began to get a grip of the second half and began knocking on the door once again. But Vigouroux did his tricks. He pulled off more heroics to save Swansea from further goals, and basically he was keeping them in the game. It was an absolutely incredible thing to watch, to be honest. Langstaff and Ivanovic both had chances. Callum Taylor shot from very close range, but again, Vigouroux saved. This was getting incredibly frustrating. But with just a minute remaining of added time, Taylor rose like the proverbial salmon to head home the cross from Alfie Doughty and into the corner of the net, sending the majority of the then into absolute raptures. Brilliant win. But let's be fair and let's be honest, Lawrence Vigouroux kept us at bay for far too long. Good goalkeeper.
Good morning, Nick. Just Murray Moon here to say I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 2 home games at Millwall. We've been absolutely magnificent. And I'm so chuffed for Langstaff getting that winning goal last night. If any boy deserved it, that lad deserved it. But can I say, those players have been absolutely not short of magnificent, but considering our injuries, it's just been great. And it's been a pleasure to be a Millwall fan. The work we put through, because we played 2 of the best teams in the league last 2 games. So I would say a great result. Congratulations to what's the name, to the team, to Neil, the manager, and everyone. It's just, anyway, you have a happy New Year, mate. Hopefully talk to you in the New Year. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Who do you want to watch?
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.